Welcome to another lesson in Google Sheets for Beginners. This is lesson number 14, and I say Google Sheets for Beginners, but a lot of these tips and tricks and tools may be useful for people who've been using Google Sheets but just didn't know some of these things. So not really just for beginners, but I'm treating it as though everyone's a beginner, so I can show you everything there is to do. And today's lesson is one of my favorite little tricks in spreadsheets, and it's called Autofill. It's a very simple little thing, but it can be very useful. It can save you a lot of time. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before I get to it, just a reminder that in the bottom right of your video, you'll see that little cogwheel settings button. You can click that. Make sure you're watching this in high definition so that you can see everything clearly. And also, if I'm going a little bit slow for you, you can speed me up down there as well. So do not forget that. So let's get right into our lesson. We're going to talk about autofill. So what is autofill? Autofill allows you to copy a cell down a column or across a row simply by holding the square in the bottom. So I'm just going to give you an example before I talk more about it so that you'll understand what it is I'm talking about. If I type a 1 here and then a 2 there, and then I highlight this, so I click and drag, see that little square right there on the bottom? If I click that square and start dragging down and then let go, you see, it just kept counting. I did the 1 and the 2 and it counted the rest of the way. So that's what autofill is. Autofill allows you to autofill. There's another way that this might work. Let's say, I'm just going to say orange, and I'm going to say orange again. So let's say theoretically, I needed multiple I need this whole column to say that. So I click that and I drag all the way down. And you see it filled it all. So I don't have to type that 1,000,000 times or copy and paste 1,000,000 times. I just drag that down and it autofilled. So that's what autofill is. Really great little tool, trick to just get the information you need in there without having to do a tons of typing. And it'll work for numbers, it'll work for days or months, it'll figure that out automatically. I'm going to demonstrate all that for you in just a second. And if you want the counting effect or sequence effect, you just make sure you have at least 2. Now if I just say, if it's just a word, so let's say purple, for example, you can usually just do 1. And if that's all I've got highlighted as purple, when I drag that down, it'll just copy down. But if you want a sequence, then like I said, you can say 1, 2, and now it guesses based on the fact that you have 2 numbers in a row that you want to keep increasing by 1. But if you said 2, 4, well, now I've increased each one by 2, so it'll figure out, okay, I increase each one by 2 and count by 2s. So it's very smart. Autofill is very smart and gives you a lot of really cool options. It does also work vertically. So if I say 1, 2, and then I highlight those 2 cells in that row and start dragging across, then you'll see it fills across, assuming that I want to just increase by counting 1 each time. So it works horizontally and vertically. And there's another really cool thing if you're using this in a table. And I will show you that by jumping over to this test student database. Is that the one I want? Nope. I'm going to go to student info. Nope. Oh yeah. Where I already was, but just wrong tab. So go to the student list tab. And now before we had yearbook cost already filled out here, and I erased that, so it's empty. So we know the yearbook cost is $50, so I can say 50, and I can highlight that, and I can drag down to here, and it'll fill out 50. So that's cool. But there's another way to do that. If I say 50, and then I click on that, and I put my cursor on that little square, just like I'm going to drag, but instead I just double click it. Click, click. And look, I didn't even have to drag. If you click, it automatically assumes you want to continue the entry, or if you've highlighted several cells, the pattern all the way to the bottom of the table. It knows that there's data, and all the way down to row 21, it assumes that that's where the table ends, so it automatically takes that information all the way down to the bottom of the table. Now that's really useful. Let's jump over here to Test Stew Database. So here you see we have a list of, I don't know, almost 1,000. No, 2,000. Almost 2,000 names. Now let's suppose we want to divide these. These are students. Let's say we want to divide them up into teams. So we're going to say teams. And I'm going to bold that. And we could format it to match these. We're not going to do that right now because that comes in a future lesson. So we have the teams, and we're going to have 4 teams. So we're going to say team 1, team 2, team 3, and team 4. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it better. Let's make this, there we go. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if I highlight that, then I've said 1, 2, 3, 4. I want that to be my teams. Actually, if I continue this, you can see it increases 1 each time. So if I go from there, it's just going to go team 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, that's what it does. And that's not actually what we want. So we're going to undo that. And we're going to go team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4. Of course, I could have just highlighted these, copied and pasted them down. But now we're going to highlight all of this. Now we have a pattern going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm going to drag down, and you'll see it continues that pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But we have 2,000. And to click this and drag all the way down to almost 2,000, that's just a waste of time because I can just hover over that square and double click, and look at that. It automatically fills. Now everyone's designated to either team 1, 2, 3, or 4. And it goes all the way down to the bottom. And you can see we have 2 extras, if you will. So team 1 and team 2 will each have 1 extra person, but all the way down to the bottom of the chart. And that's just how autofill is so handy. You can see you can do it with 1 piece of information, or you can have it count, or you can have it repeat a pattern. Let's go back to this blank sheet so I can show you some more cool ways that this will work. So you've seen it count. You've seen it count by 2s because that's the pattern that we established. You saw how it'll, if you go team 1, team 2, team 3, and then you just copy all the way down, it'll just continue counting team 4, team 5, team 6. Or if you set up a pattern, it follows the pattern. It also is smart enough to understand things. Let's do another blank sheet. Let's say we have a bunch of names here: Jill, John, Jack, Judy, Jason, all J names. And we're going to assign them to different different days of the week. So we can do Sunday, and that's not how you spell Sunday. Sunday, and we can take this and just drag it across. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And see, it already knows because it understands the days of the week. It also works the same way with months. So if you were to say January, you could just highlight that. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Did I make it? Oh, I went too far. So you just delete those. But you can see it goes all the way January to December. So it knows exactly patterns like that are just normal patterns, days of the week, counting. It recognizes those things and it knows how to do it. It'll also recognize formatting. So let's see. Well, I'm just going to do it this way to make it obvious. Bold, not bold. Bold, not bold. So we're going to talk more about formatting in a future lesson. But as you can see, I've bolded every other thing here. So if I highlight that, and I drag it down, you see, it follows the pattern, but it also follows the bold. But that would work with other things too. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, now if I just copy that down, it's just going to keep counting. But if I make every other one bold, then it will not just count. Let's take it a step further. Let's do centered. I think it'll do that too. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and every other one is bold. If I drag all the way down, you'll see. See? It not only keeps the counting going, but it knows every other one should be centered and bold. So it autofill works for formatting, for counting, for days. Really cool feature. Especially comes in handy not only when you want to just automatically fill things like days of the week or months, but also especially when you have a list like this where you just want one piece of information, but you want it all the way to the end of the chart. You don't want to have to copy, paste, or type it a million times. You don't have to. You can just click and drag on a chart like this where it's really small, but if it's something that's really big, like this chart, then you can quite simply just type in the first one. I'm just going to make up a random word and go to the little square and double click, and it copies it all the way down. And because it was just one word, it just copied the one word. If there had been a pattern or something and I highlighted more cells to establish the pattern, then I could do the same thing. So you can see a very useful tool is Autofill. One of my absolute favorite tools that you can use in spreadsheets, because it can just save you a lot of time when you have things like that you need to get all the way down. And I have this come up in my job a lot. You don't have to sit there and copy and paste or type. If you're dealing with 200 lines, much less 2,000 lines, you just copy the first few cells, establish your pattern, or if it's a single word, just the word, and then just double click that little square in the bottom right, and it copies all the way down to the bottom of the table. And because Google Sheets is smart, it knows where your data ends and just copies down to the end. And you can include the formatting, you can have it do counting, anything you want to do basically. So anyway, that's Autofill. That's all there is to it. Like I said, it's a very simple little tool, but one of the absolute most useful tools you'll find if you're working a lot with Google Sheets or spreadsheets is Autofill. And yeah, I guess that's it for this lesson. Hopefully you found that helpful. If you already knew about that, maybe you didn't know how elaborate it could be with being able to recognize formatting as well. And if you didn't know about that, then hopefully you'll find that to be extremely useful for you now moving forward using Google Sheets and spreadsheets. So that's going to be it for this lesson. If you like this lesson, please click that like button. That helps me out. Or if you hate it, then click don't like. If you have questions or something I didn't cover or something that wasn't clear to you, feel free to post it in the comments below. I'll do my best to try to get you an answer as quickly as I can. Don't forget to favorite this playlist so you can keep up with future lessons in the series, or go ahead and subscribe to my channel and keep up with all my videos. I also do a lot of other videos, product reviews of electronics and household products and dog product reviews, and sometimes just fun vlog videos that you might want to check out. So subscribe to my channel and you can keep up with all of those. Anyway, that's going to be it until our next lesson. So have a great day.